Welcome to The One Thing, where each episode features our signature segment, Pandora's Box. We dive into hot topics that challenge the norm and ignite real conversation.
Inspired by Greek mythology, Pandora's Box isn't just about chaos. It's about truth, transformation and hope. That's what we bring to every conversation.
Have a cause or business that deserves to be seen? Want to be remembered forevermore? Be our next special guest. Contact us today at theonething@edgeradioaustralia.com.
And you're listening to The One Thing on Edge Radio Australia. Welcome. It's great to have you here. And you have Lisa at the controls today. And I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Leanne. We don't have the real Aaron Malloy with us today. Aaron's actually going to be our guest. And the reason that he's going to be our guest today is because our guest that was coming in, unfortunately, is unwell. So please get well soon, Brendan, and Brendan will be on next week. But what I would like to do in the first instance is just let you know a little bit about our special guest that will be on next week. Brendan Cook is a passionate advocate for justice and fairness, and he's known for his work exposing systemic issues within Western Australia's justice system. He has over 8 years of experience across both government and private sectors, and he has led groundbreaking judicial reviews and federal court cases, often supporting clients rejected by unions and industrial associations. A former union leader and accredited investigator, Brendan is also a registered industrial agent with specialist expertise in risk management, workplace relations, and constitutional law. So he's going to be a fantastic guest that will be joining us next week. But when we learned that he was unwell today, Leanne and I had a little chat, and we thought there was nobody better to step in than Aaron Malloy, because Aaron has his own experiences with the injustice system, or the Department of Injustice, as today's show is called. So the topics that we're going to be visiting next week with Brendan includes whether there's a deeper culture of nepotism among our judges, how closely connected legal firms and the courts are and what that might mean for fairness, and why whistleblowers and marginalised voices are so often ignored or silenced. So they're all topics that Brendan is very, very passionate about speaking on. And I'm just going to throw over to Leanne, and she's going to introduce Aaron.
What? How do I do that? Right?
Oh dear.
And Aaron is feeling quite uncomfortable.
I can't stand
very uncomfortable.
Oh, tell you right now.
He really doesn't need that much introduction, because he's the man, the myth, the legend that is Aaron Malloy, the one and only.
There's a reason for that, but okay.
But you have seen, Aaron, more than your fair share of injustice over the years.
Yes,
so you are definitely the person that needs to be sitting in the chair next to us. Your work in media has also seen a lot of the injustices behind the scenes, not just on a personal level, but on a broad spectrum level within the West Australian Justice Department. You are the voice for the voiceless, and you're a fierce advocate for truth. So, with no further ado, round of applause for Mr. Aaron Malloy.
Well, after the introductions, thank you for that. The show's over. There's no time left. Look, this is a weird show for me, obviously.
It is really weird for you.
I am sitting over here. I feel very naked. I've got my security cushion, all of that.
Should have got the foxy teddy.
I should have really.
Yeah.
It's just out there. I can go and grab it. We can stop the show. I can go get the teddy. We're okay.
Is it okay if we start? And
Sure.
I know you were going to say something, but what I would love for people listening to understand is your heart and who you are, because what you're going through and what you've been going through is not the life that you thought you would have for yourself.
Oh, not at all. No way. And I think that the life that I live is a life that a lot of people live.
Yeah.
A number which is far too large. and it is a life of injustice. It's a life of pain.
Let's start from the beginning. Where were you born, and tell us about your siblings and your family.
Oh, geez, we're going to go that far back. All right.
We are indeed.
Do you want to lay down on the couch?
I've got the couch. We can do this. Okay, I was born in Port Hedland in Western Australia, mining town up there, northern part of Western Australia. As my father told me, for many, many years, I actually wasn't born to the family. He was down at the local rubbish tip and found me under a piece of corrugated iron. So there you go. That's the story I was told for my first 10 years. But we came.
So clearly a man with a sense of humour.
Yeah, definitely.
So we know where he got his warped sense of humour now.
Yeah.
Very likely. I'm far more like my mum, to be absolutely honest. But there you go. But yeah, so why did we come back to Perth? Well, lots of reasons. Obviously, originally my family was from Perth, but born in Port Hedland. But the reason why we came back, that I was involved in a massive car accident at 4 months of age.
Wow.
I just want to make it very clear, I wasn't driving, okay? Although I wish I was, which was so severe that I was basically been given the last rites on that first night.
Wow.
I was in a coma for over a month. I'm not supposed to be here in any way, shape or form. I was given the last rites on 2 occasions. So they were very certain that I wasn't going to make it. And that's why after I came out of the coma, my family moved back to Perth to start a life. And, that's sort of how that bit sort of shaped.
So this is where your love of racing fast cars ridiculously through the bush came from being in a car accident.
Oh, 100%.
When you were 4 months.
Yeah, that's right.
Being thrown through the air.
Yeah.
Oh
so it's an interesting actually accident because what happened is it was the 70s, okay? So 70s very, very different.
Oh, yeah. You're in a bassinet.
Mum was doing get that. Mum was doing the very 70s thing of we had my sister and myself. My sister and I are less than a year apart. And as my mum used to say, just a little tip for everybody, breastfeeding is not a contraception. There you go. So what happened is I was on my mum's right side, my sister on the left. They had a head-on crash with somebody who was on the wrong side of the road.
Oh, my goodness.
130 mile an hour impact, combined impact. And so my mum, unfortunately, depending which way you look at it, I flew out of my mum's arm and I flew and landed underneath the pedals, underneath the driver's side. And my sister and my mum flew out through the windscreen.
Oof.
My mum's leg was caught, so she got dragged back in through there because the cars had a full frontal smash. The whole front of the cars were jammed up, and I was jammed because all the firewall comes up and the floor comes up and everything comes up. I was jammed underneath the pedals for quite some time.
No permanent damage?
Some permanent damage. Some permanent damage. Yeah, most definitely.
And it didn't affect your learning at school or anything?
Yeah, it did actually in some ways, not in the ways you might expect. I had to go through a lot of years of OT to sort my balance and equilibrium out because that was something that was damaged in the accident. And that's actually funny if you mentioned the railing. That's another reason why I'm so incredibly proud of my railing career.
It would be amazing.
Not supposed to be able to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, there you go. This feels very strange. I don't like it over here.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all. I like to be asking the questions.
No. He likes asking the questions.
I do.
And where did you go to school?
I went to a couple of different schools, but I went to 𝐤𝐞𝐲 Primary School and also...
Sorry for that, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And St. Pius X in Manning as well. So, and then off later on to Corpus Christi. So
now, were you always the person standing up for the underdog?
Yes, always, since day dot.
So you weren't afraid of standing up for justice?
No, not at all. I found out very early, and I suppose if you psychoanalyse yourself, I think from the fact that because of my injuries growing up, I got bullied, right? And so I learned very quickly the best way to stop bullying is to come on the offensive and
just describe to us what you mean by that, because we look at you now and you just you're able-bodied. What was the disability that you were teased about?
Because my equilibrium wasn't right. So basically, I could walk.
You'd bang into walls.
Pretty much. No, I could walk down a hill, up a hill, but across a hill, I couldn't do it. Right. So that was the problem. Yeah. So that needed to get sorted out. So, and it didn't help as well. I was a bit of a chunky kid. So, you combine that with a bit of chunk and, our kids are going to go straight to the jugular.
Kids do that anyway. It doesn't matter what you
and I'm going to say something I find factual and some people don't like it. I think it's controversial, but I think there's a certain value to being bullied a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It toughens you up.
Yeah.
I think there's something missing in so many people now that they probably needed a little bullying in their life. Like a little bit, not a lot. But it taught me very quickly that you have to, end of the day, you're responsible for you. Self-responsibility, right? So you stand up for you and you stand up for those who are weaker. So I learned from probably year 3 onwards that, and again, taking into account, this is the 80s.
Yeah.
The way that you dealt with a bully back in those days is you used to, physically take them down. So
if you're a boy.
If you're a boy, yeah.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, maybe exactly right. So different world now, but I just think that taught me a lot of lessons. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for me.
Yeah.
And B is I do not like watching anybody being put down. I don't like anyone being bullied, and I'll stand up for them, full stop.
Yeah, great.
And doing the right thing. Lost my train of thought because I could tell Leanne wanted to say something at the same time.
Lisa, you're in Aaron's seat. You really are taking it to the next level.
Am I talking too much?
No, that's okay. Keep going.
No, because I saw
I've lost my train of thought now.
You were going to speak as well, and then I thought
Leanne say something, and then it was like, oh shit, it's gone.
You two are hilarious.
We're allowed to say shit on this radio station too, aren't we?
Are.
Okay.
We
Do
are.
you like us both being together like this?
Oh, you know what it reminds me of?
No.
The Muppets. Okay? Like what I'm looking right now, I can see, up on the balcony there, you two doing your thing. I'm loving it.
Muppets now, but I did like that little Muppet song. That was really good. And we are on the one things, and we do tend to make light of things because, hey, you've got to in life, don't you? Because
you absolutely do. And we're sitting here, and this is okay. This is bloody uncomfortable, right? Not just physically, but this is stuff that I don't. You put away, you whack it in a box, and you've kind of I bet say I've dealt with that. Well, no, you haven't really. I remember many, many years ago, people used to always talk about. I used to see psychological stuff, and they'd say, it's about your child. And I used to just roll my eyes like, come off, it's not about your childhood. Toughen up, princess. Guess what? It's all about your childhood. It really is.
So you think it is now?
Yeah, I do. And I felt the absolute opposite. So, look, life has taught me that, events of my childhood shaped who I am. In good and bad ways.
Okay.
I made plenty of mistakes. So, first to put my hand up and say that I've screwed up royally on many occasions. But you've got to own it, right?
So let's just cut to the chase.
Yep.
Why do you believe that the justice system is not fair?
Because I've experienced it, and I can say without any hesitation, there is no such thing as a justice system. It does not exist in Australia. Look, I believe Western Australia is even worse than the other states, but I can certainly say without any hesitation, and this is not hyperbole, right? This is a fact. It's rigged. It's not a justice system. It is a legal system. It is designed for power, control, and money. And the people in that industry almost entirely are literally the degenerates of society.
So what was the defining moment that actually brought that up to the fore for you?
For me,
because I used to think that the justice system was, we have to do the right thing. We have to, let's do it because we will get in trouble if we don't. They're right.
Yep.
Let's follow the rules.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. No. Look, I used to think that way as well. I did believe in justice. I thought that you'd go to court, for argument's sake, and that the judge would look at one side and they look at the other and all that kind of information.
Yeah.
And then I've discovered that is absolutely not the case.
Okay.
So,
your defining moment would have been?
Defining moment, there's so many, to be frank.
But what was the first time that you thought there's something not right here?
The first time was when I had to fight for my first son in family court. Because I had to fight for all of my children in family court, and which shouldn't happen. Good human beings should not do that to children, okay? Parental alienation and using a child as a pawn is just disgusting. You're showing your quality as a human being if you use your child as a pawn.
So what made the judge, the judge is sitting there, he's only hearing two stories.
No, he doesn't, or she doesn't. I might add. So he or she does not hear two stories. See, that's the misconception.
Okay.
And if you wanted the light bulb moment, here's the light bulb moment. They hear one narrative, What they do, and this is what people don't understand. When you go to court, you think you're going to court, and they'll see all the evidence you've brought on this side, and they'll see the evidence right on the other side, and they'll weigh up the probability and weigh they go, that's not
like
the case.
Judge Judy.
Yeah, completely. That is completely
Do you like
unrealistic.
Judge Judy?
Oh, you know, wouldn't hang out with her, but
But at least she kind of hears both sides.
yeah,
doesn't
she does exactly
Yeah,
right. But
yeah.
she also comes in with preconceived ideas. So
Yeah.
and then we've all got a prejudice inside us of some form, right? No matter who you think you are. So where I'm going on this is at this point is what people don't know, and this is you want to know the defining moment for me is okay. So when this happens, so when you go to court, and I'm going to use the family court as because this is where I've got great experiences, sadly. All right. Now, first time that I went to family court to fight for my my son, my firstborn son, I went down and got myself a nice, very expensive Nedlands lawyer, okay, who, she was, had all the numbers, all the letters beside her name, yada, yada. We spoke to all of these people. I got all these references. I got all this information. I got people who had known me for 20 years. I got captains of industry, people with their own businesses, general managers of businesses in Australia, close personal friends, neighbours, all of that, right? And I went in there with this lawyer and what I would consider the yellow pages of a file for one day in court, okay? My ex-wife walked in with what I would best describe as a leaflet, okay? Absolutely next to nothing. A couple of little carefully worded comments, right? Very carefully worded, okay, to play the narrative. The judge did not read my evidence.
Wow.
At all. It was a complete waste of time. It basically cost me $40,000 for one day in court 30 years ago, nearly 30 years ago. And it, in the 20s. And I was not heard at all. I was not respected. I was treated like absolute filth. And even to the point when I left the courtroom, my lawyer said, you've got to bow to the judge. And I literally just stood there and said, I will not bow to someone I don't respect, because I didn't have any respect for her whatsoever. It was a disgusting and immoral way that was.
So she heard what your what the mother of the child had said, and went on that
wholly and solely,
that wholly and solely, and had nothing from what you had to say.
No,
wow.
Now that at the time, all those years ago, I thought that was horrendous. Okay, it destroyed my life in so many ways. Because you want to talk about defining moments. The greatest defining moment of my entire life is becoming a dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna. Okay.
It's all right.
I want to hold it together. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I never knew that the most important thing I would ever do in my life is have children. I didn't know that was going to change me.
Yeah.
I get
that.
I had an awesome life of 4 children. Okay, I was a professional rally driver. I had the beautiful women, the fast cars.
You still got the beautiful women.
Of course I have, yeah.
We're just sitting here. They're just not on his arm.
That's right. I have to share them with others, I don't. God, it's so sus. And you know what? The stupid comments like that, that's so this show, and I love you for it. I love you both for it.
Did you realise how lucky you were back then?
No, absolutely not.
It was just the life.
And that was just the life. And I mean, I was very ambitious as far as with the racing and all of that. I'm very ambitious, and I had great plans in my life. And then, look, hey, I became a dad very unexpectedly. There's a lot of
And you were hands-on dad, weren't you?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so describe for us what that looked like.
Changing nappies.
Well, it depends. Yeah, it depends which kids we're talking about. But at one stage of my life, later on in life, I don't know, roughly, I'm going to guess about 15 years ago, I had 4 kids in nappies at the same time.
Wow, production line.
I was a machine. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely great movement.
Off, on.
Yeah, that's right.
Screen. Next.
Oh, well, I loved it.
See it.
I just loved them. I just loved them so much, right? And why?
So would you say your family court is your biggest beef?
Family court is an evil organisation designed to destroy families. No ifs, no buts. And it's not just my experience. I've also, you want to go in and say to yourself, I want to be objective about this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Go and sit in the back of a family court. Go sit in that gallery if they still let you, and just watch what goes on. It will drop your jaw to the ground.
Surely, as parents, you want the best for your child.
No, you don't. That's not true. When you go to family court, a particular parent will want, it is all said and done. It's a good old-fashioned follow the money. It's about money. It's about power, right? And, okay, I'm going to throw a little thing out, and I must make this very clear. I believe in paying for your responsibilities and looking after your kids and financially looking after your kids. It's really important, right? So when it comes to child support, that's an important thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But child support is actually so entrenched in shared care that it's a great scam to destroy children's lives. Right. So do you know why, and we're talking in the 87 odd % of fathers only get every second weekend. Do you know what that's based on?
No.
Right. Everybody thinks, so you can have your weekend and no, it's not that at all. It's maths. So so every second weekend's 104 nights a year. Plus you throw Christmas in there, Easter and a couple of the holidays going, it comes up to a magic number, 109 nights a year. The Child Support Agency basically works on this system. So at 109 nights a year, the custodial parent has the children 109 nights, more than 109 nights. They get 100%, they get full child support, 100% child support. So that's what it's based on. So you're actually financially incentivizing people to alienate the other parent, to actually damage their children. You are financially incentivizing them. Plus, you also throw family tax benefit A and B and this and that.
There are more people doing the 50-50 now.
No, they're not. That's that is a complete fallacy. And that's what's being sold. It's not true.
Well, I know. I'm no expert in the matter, and I know you advocate for a lot of people, but I do know of a couple of occasions where it is.
Okay. Do you know what the stat is right now? 84.1% of fathers are effectively erased from, basically they lose their parental rights. 84.1%.
And why do you think it's against the men?
Because, look, lots of things. If we look in a traditional sense, right, back in the old days, a mum would stay at home and raise the kids and be the main carer of the children.
And the mother is the birth giver.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? Guess what? In most situations, the mum is the right person for the job. But if you work on that principle, when we're talking about, I was just talking about my children before, about the nappy changing in that. Now, in that particular time, I was the primary carer. I was a very lucky guy. I had a job which enabled me to work around my children so I could take them to school. I could be at all of their stuff, their sporting, their dancing, their acting, their school assemblies. Very lucky guy, right?
Yeah.
I was the primary carer. Yet the family court still chose to not even remove me partially. They just decided, based on the word of a liar, right? Okay. A pathological liar, they chose to take my children away and destroy my children's lives and obviously my life as well. They chose that. Now that is a political decision. It's not about the care of the children at all. It is based on, in the case of, and I I don't care who sues me for this, or takes me to court, and I can actually be put in cuffs and taken away for what I'm about to tell you, right?
Well, you don't have to.
Well, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. Right. So my ex-wife committed perjury. She made up a story completely, and the experts of the court, the person who was paid, I believe, $18,000 to an assessment, committed perjury, lied to the court. No ifs, no buts, factual. I have evidence of this, But they got the job done. The woman who made the false statement that the expert, she got her $18,000, my ex-wife got the kids and all of everything that goes with that, got that incredible power. Now, even though in court it was proven, perjury was proven.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
proven. But in Western Australia, we don't actually, and for Australia, full stop, and in Western Australia, we don't actually pursue cases of perjury. John Quigley himself he stipulated, insisted that only 2 cases of perjury be pursued per year. And there's a reason why 2, because then it's multiple, and you can use it in the wording to make it sound like it's a lot.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah. So that's what they can actually say. Multiple cases of perjury have been pursued this year because it's 2.
And there's only
right?
2.
That's
That's
crazy.
terrible.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to, while I'm on a tangent of this, okay, I'm going to be straight down the line. So my children were fundamentally the biggest reason my kids were taken away from me, even though I was the primary carer, why I was a stay-at-home dad, right? And they lived well and they had a good lifestyle, and they're incredibly loved, incredibly nurtured, and we had a lot of fun. Very, very, very loved. Is because now these 2 people effectively conspired to create a false narrative. And guess what the false narrative, because I didn't know this for a very long time. So I didn't know the fact that the reason why my children were taken from me. Now I understand why my stepchildren, and I hate that term with a passion. I love them. If you look at my arm here, there's a tattoo on my arm of all my children's names. I don't care. Biology means nothing to me. I love their little hearts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But here's what my ex-wife told the expert, Miss $18,000. She was told that the reason why they needed to take my daughter from me, why they needed to keep my children away from me, why I'm such a danger, okay, and particularly a danger to my daughter. This was never said directly, but it was certainly inferred, and very, very directly inferred. That because I had been sexually abused as a child, that I was now a risk that would make me, because apparently 30% of people who have been sexually abused go on to sexually abuse. That's the stat that
Were you sexually abused?
No, I was not sexually abused. They made it up. They made it up, right? That's perjury. And what's worse is the woman who lied and made it up, who's more responsible here? Or is that person more responsible, or the person who was paid a substantial amount of money to do and find out, who, by the way, never asked me the question, never, ever asked me if this happened to me, right? That is what happens. Family court is, now I've learned, okay, it's a pantomime. Right? The decision on who gets the children, who gets to this, who gets to that is made before you go to court. This is my opinion from much observation, okay, and great research. The decision is made. Then the process is literally about drawing as much income as you possibly can from the lawyers. The lawyers they will bleed you dry. You've got lawyers out there. Look, the 2016 Family Law Court Lawyer of the Year, right? Who's been lauded and's got the big plaque at the front of his on his front desk and all that sort of carry on, has been done for professional misconduct on multiple occasions, right? And that's a very nice way of saying he conned and ripped off his clients. He actually drew out family law cases to make more money. These people are the scum of the earth. They are evil. They are evil at every single grain.
If you had someone come to you today that is, had to go through family court, what biggest piece of advice could you give them?
And Aaron, I want you to just think about that while we take a short break.
Okay.
Is pain holding you back? Bowen Therapy with Panacea Healing can change that for you. It's never too late to recharge your health, career, or purpose. You have the power within yourself to change what no longer serves you, taking your life and health to another level. panaceahealing.com.au. You can do anything.
And we are back on Edge Radio Australia on The One Thing, and we are listening to Aaron Malloy's story on the Department of Injustice, and in particular the family court system. And my question to you, Aaron, was if you had someone come to you now saying, I'm going through this right now, what's the one piece of advice that you think would serve them well in perhaps swinging the table a little bit?
You can't swing the table.
Okay.
So, this is all about damage control. As a lawyer actually once said to me, he said he laughed at me when I was trying to find a lawyer who would take the case for me. And he laughed and told me, winning? You get it? Because I actually thought I could get custody, right? And he laughed and said, mate, this is about damage control. Right? This is all this is about. Like, this is just a fight to see how much of your life, of your children's life, you can be a part of.
Wow.
So you've lost before you started, right? Okay, so two bits of advice. Now I'm going to actually tell a very quick little story because one of my closest friends in the entire world, love him to bits, even though he makes me pull my hair out.
Do we know him?
We know who this is. I love him to bits. Travis Carter, okay, who we first met. And when I first met Travis, and then Travis' family now, he's my brother, right? But when I first met Travis, he told me basically his advice was walk away, okay, let it go. Just move on. Make it, effectively make a new life for yourself. And I went in my mind, actually not in my mind, I said it straight out, right? To him, I said, mate, you're weak as piss.
Yeah.
How dare you? Why would you do that?
Because he'd been through
Because he'd been through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
He knew it.
Yeah.
And he knew what the story was. He goes, no, for your heart, for your soul, for who you are, for the rest of your life, mate, just give up and walk away. One day your children will come and find you. One day. And God, I hate that. I really hate when people say that. So Travis and I got off on the wrong foot. I didn't like him at all.
He's a pompous prick, isn't he?
How can you not like Travis?
There's so many reasons. But anyway, so that was one. That was definitely one thing. So my answer to that is not exactly how Travis would put it, but I would say, do not engage. Do not engage. Do not engage in the family court process. Refuse to engage. Now, a lot of you men, particularly, this happens to women too. I do, by the way, I support women as well through this, and I'm very proud of the fact that I've actually, one woman I actually did stop her from killing herself, and I'm very, very, that hits me in the heart. Right?
That's a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, you know who you are in Queensland, if you don't engage, that's one thing. What's going to happen is, basically, I'll give you an example. So back in the day when the family court you were lined up inside and you had to, wait and yada yada just to file paperwork and that. Me being the shy type that I am, I thought, screw this. I just got to know. So I stood up and I said, hey everyone, just a bit of curiosity, just curious. How many of you guys, and I use the term guys, how many of you guys have got a violence restraining order against you? Okay. And every single man in the building stood up.
Kidding.
Everyone. Because what's happening now is particular agencies are actually telling women to go and get a violence restraining order, okay? They are using fake reasons. You do not, by the way, in 2010, 2011, 𝐊𝐞𝐲 𝐓𝐚𝐤𝐤, as our Prime Minister, okay, took away the need for any evidence for a violence restraining order. You do not, as a woman, because it's two-sided here, it's not the same for a man. For a woman, you do not require any evidence for a claim of domestic violence. Now, the domestic violence is the golden ticket to you controlling the rest of the custody battle. Once you have that, away you go. In fact, the lawyers they literally call it the silver bullet.
And isn't it what makes me really, really sad about that on so many different levels is that there are genuine cases out there where people are being so abused and they're scared for their lives.
And you know what?
And then you've got these assholes that are saying that they're going through that and they're not. They're just blatantly lying.
I completely agree with you. And what I have discovered, right, from my advocacy work is the women who are genuine victims of domestic violence, right, and I will say women on this particular case because trust me, there's two sides of that.
Well, there are, but generally speaking, men are stronger physically.
The current figures, by the way, are 59% women are victims of domestic violence, 41 men. So is
that physical domestic violence?
I believe so.
That surprises me.
What happens, Lisa, is the men don't want to hit the woman.
Yeah.
Right. So they're genuine men that have been brought up to go, I'm not hitting a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the women are getting the fry pans out, mate.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
Perfect example of that. Thank you for the fry pan story.
Yeah,
the
well,
mushrooms.
mushrooms.
Yeah. And have you noticed that hasn't been called domestic violence at any point? Any point. I've never seen about the mushroom murder.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
That is domestic violence. You killed your family.
Yeah.
Right? It's
yeah.
domestic violence by every possible metric. But okay, my mate, who was domestically abused for a very long time, I'm not going to say his name, obviously, who literally did one day, he got a frying pan across the back of the head, right? Okay. Now, his wife, who I was actually friends with, that's how we met, we became friends, she was look, she's just not a nice human being, all right? And she was very ex-armed forces, a very, very physically violent and psychologically violent human being. But he loved his children, and she played the normal trick, and this is one we hear all the time, is if you leave me, you'll never see the kids again. Okay?
Yeah, that's really that's awful.
That's what I got. That's why I stayed in a domestic violence relationship. That's exactly why I stayed with my ex-wife, right? I stayed in that relationship no matter what the hell she did to me because I love my children so much.
Are you comfortable sharing about what that looked like?
Yeah, sure. Which bit of it? I mean,
Well, all right. So there are going to be many people out there that are going to be like, oh, come on, Aaron Malloy. Like nobody's going to, you wouldn't put up with that. And you're a big belly bloke. And,
yeah, I am. Yeah.
And for anyone that doesn't know you intimately, like you're always happy and
I'm a freaking teddy bear.
Yeah.
I am. I love a good
You're
cuddle.
a big teddy bear, but you're a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
Look, but I'm not going to for 1 second say that I don't also have a temper. I don't also say that I don't make mistakes, right? I've yelled and carried on like a 2-bob watch and all of that, right? From time to time. I mean, as I get older,
I think that's called being human.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just haven't got much time for that anymore. But okay, how was I abused? Well, okay, and how did I let it happen? Okay, many different reasons. I was the boiling frog. Okay, I was the boiling frog. My ex-wife started early. Okay, started really early. Started the psychological abuse really, really early. Started the physical stuff a little bit, but it was all just very. Look, I wasn't threatened physically until she started using weapons. Okay, there we go. But
she started using weapons. What do you mean?
She would pick up steel objects and smash me with them.
Oh, geez. See, I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No. Yeah, that's.
And did you ever go?
But that.
No, well, I went to the police. I went to the police, and the police called me a poofter.
Oh, what?
That was the exact word. And then not once, by the way. I went to the cops on 2 occasions, 2 different police stations, and both used the same terminology. Both called me a poofter. Apparently, it's 1975. So, that, yeah. So,
was that in 1975?
No, that's sarcasm. Well, how often do you use that term in today's world, right? No. The police, and okay, I'll give you another example. There's so much to this. So, when I had to at one point I went and tried to get a violence restraining order, okay, which I was just the court just would not give me one. I spoke to the officer in charge of a very big station here in Western Australia, the Midland station. Even though I wasn't living in that area, there was a reason for it. And he said to me straight out, he said, "Look, mate, no matter what happens, if we walk into a domestic violence situation," he said, "no matter what the woman is doing to the man, we will always take the man away. We will never, ever, ever take the side of the man."
Oh, really?
We'll never take the man's side, quote unquote. And then he went on and he said, "We will always take him away. We will always arrest him." Okay. And I said, "But why?" And he said, "I'll tell you why. Because the feminist movement is so powerful, right, in Western Australia, in Australia. I keep saying Western Australia. This is an Australian problem. This is actually a Western world problem to a big extent. But, okay, the feminist movement is so powerful that he has actually, the officer in charge of the whole district there in Midland, big area, said that he actually instructs his officers to always do that because their career is not worth it. Because the feminist unions that become unions, the feminist movement is so powerful that you will lose your job if you take a woman's side, right?
That is so
That's
wrong.
what he said. And it gets better. He also said to me that if I repeat this conversation, what I'm repeating to you right now, okay, he goes, even if I was in a court of law, I would say that I didn't have this conversation. I will deny
of course
it, right?
they would.
And he even went as far as to say, I would perjure myself in court rather than tell the truth.
Yeah, because you can't buck the system.
It's the end of his career. So that's the reality. And it is so unbelievably sexist that the feminist organisations have got such control of the social services.
Just whilst we're on that subject, you and I recently had a meeting with a young man who is recently out of jail, and what he said to you and I was every single man in that jail was there because of a woman.
Yep.
Which I that just kind of like...
See, this is where it becomes, okay, so I have this conversation, these conversations, and people go, oh, you misogynist, all of that, right? Now, a couple of things. Buy yourself a dictionary or look it up, okay? Look what actually misogynist is. A misogynist is someone who hates women, okay? And let's focus on that word, hate. Now, if I hated women, would I be sitting here with two wonderful women right now? Would most of my friends are female, right? My best friend of 31 years is a woman. I wouldn't try and, I wouldn't be married. I wouldn't try and have wonderful relationships with women if I hated women. So throwing out misogyny, okay, you know what? If you say that, you're just lazy. It's a lazy.
What needs to change?
What needs to change? Feminists need to wake the hell up. Okay, because women are the big losers out of this too.
But how do we change that? How can we change the system?
Women need to change the system. Women are right now, okay, I feel like staring down the barrel of the camera, but
do it.
Okay.
Women,
you are the problem.
Change the system.
You are the problem. And I'll tell you why, okay? Because women, generally speaking, because of how life has worked, do not have to have the same consequences as men, all right? Now, women are capable of so much. But right now, women are letting the side down. There is a reason why women cannot have long relationships anymore. There's a reason why men do not want to be in relationships with anymore. Now, becoming in a relationship with a woman is a game of Russian roulette. You will lose your home. You will lose your family. You will lose your family. It is just the way it is.
Sounds now, like an advertisement.
Well, it's true. Right? It's true. So okay, why do I only have one single friend under the age of 45 who still has his kids? Because he's worth $360 million. That's the only reason he's got his kids. Every other dad I know is in some form of...
I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a really high percentage, and I don't know the statistics.
I do.
And I understand that, and it just breaks my heart that men are taking their lives because of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
7 per day in Australia. So every day, 6 to 7 fathers kill themselves, take their lives because they can't see their children. And if you don't think that's an epidemic, now often I'll be hearing one woman a week loses their life to domestic violence, which, by the way, is not true. Okay, just so you know, the figures are being played with there. Okay, one woman a week is one woman a year is too many, right? We shouldn't be having anyone lose their life. Okay, but about roughly high 40s, so about a woman every 10 days in this country. And if you really genuinely care about women, guess what? Get your butt down to the Aboriginal community and do some bloody good. Right? Actually, if you really care, that's where, this is where the love needs to be shown, right?
Sorry, just go back a sec. What was that bit you just said?
The deaths of Aboriginal women in this country is just horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. And it is used politically and financially by so many organisations to play with figures so they can get more money. And I'll give you names of organisations that I will talk very openly. Relationships Australia, unbelievable, disgraceful what they do. Anglicare, disgraceful what they do. Not for profit does not mean that they don't make a profit.
So slanting figures, is that what you're saying?
The figures are cooked. It's not even slanted; they are cooked, and it's just so wrong.
So where can these men go for help?
Oh, nowhere at all. Okay, I mean, I mentioned Travis before. Travis wanted to open a men's shelter. A men's shelter. Okay, and straight out right. Okay, he was told that if he made it, he basically for funding that they wouldn't help him at all unless he made it a woman's shelter. So if he made it a female shelter,
Yeah, I've never heard of a men's shelter. See,
I'll tell you why, because
interesting.
guess how many there are. So I'll just finish with Travis on that one. So he got offered $300,000 if he builds a women's shelter. Nothing if you build it for men. So that's just tells you everything. And I think even more clear on this is in Australia there is one shelter for men.
Okay, so what my logic, what's going through my brain is that we have more men in government. So how does this happen?
Because women rule the world. Like, and this is like, when I hear people talk about the patriarchy and all that, it's laughable. It's truly laughable.
So what can nice women like Leanne and I do?
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying women, and you do all this on Facebook as well. And we're kind of like, well,
We're women.
and we're not like that.
Yeah, but okay, I understand too.
What do you want us to do?
What do I want you to do? I want you guys to be part of the change. When you see women doing the wrong thing, right? When you see women trumping up fake charges and all kind of carry on,
But
right?
I don't.
But and that's
But you do. You do.
Do
Like
I?
I had to know.
Who?
Yeah, you do. Right. And I can't say. But
You'll have to tell me off air.
it's not even that. I can't because it'll ruin your relationship with someone. So look, women need to start taking responsibility. Okay, it's a broad thing saying women, and I know, and I do fall into that category. I screw it up because I should be saying most women, right?
yes, you should.
I should,
Yeah.
but I should.
You should.
But women need to take.
Not even most women.
No, it is
So-
most women. It's
well,
most women. Statistically, most women, right? So, okay, look,
But you've already said statistics can't be trusted.
I thoroughly agree with that. I'm a big believer in doing your research, and I think so many people who watch Edge and follow what we do, we like to do our own research, and that means I don't look at one set of data. I look at several, and I go and I try to analyze that data and try and find the truth, because the truth's in there somewhere. It's like you need to look at both sides. So I will look at the one side, the female side of the data, or I'll look at the male side. But somewhere in the middle, you've got to find the truth.
Do you think though that because you are a male and you hear more from males about what's going on in their lives, because I know that you step up for men who are doing it tough, that there is a sense of it's more male than female for you because of that fact?
No, because I've got my female friends who I see doing dodgy things. Like I do.
But do you pull them up on it?
Yeah, I do. I had a friend who broke up with her husband only a matter of about 4 years ago, roughly 4 or 5 years ago. And I said straight out to her, I said, look, if you like my friendship, if you want to maintain friendship with me, when you divorce your husband, you do the right thing. And I said, I've got a magic figure in my head and if you take a cent more than this, our friendship's over. And that people are going to take that in all sorts of ways. But I just wanted to see.
Well, that's integrity. And I think that it's just human to human.
But it's,
take out men and women.
I'm going to defend women here. Watch this go, right? Okay. Because this is the problem. Okay. You might have a very wonderful, virtuous woman who's a great person. Then you get to a family law court lawyer, or you get to a disgusting organisation like the Patricia Giles Centre, okay? That's a centre in Western Australia, which is that is there to help women who have been victims of domestic violence. Well, no, it's not. It's a training camp for extorting money and power, right? You go there and they teach women, and I've sent women in to do this. So they've gone in, told their story, and their counsellors have counselled them and trained them how to manipulate the whole system. So they tell them straight away to go out and get a violence restraining order and do all of that. Okay? So when you go to a lawyer, the first thing they tell you to do is get a violence restraining order. First thing they'll do is manipulate language. So you might be a really great human being. You might be one of the best women bloody ever.
They tell you that's how you win.
But
they manipulate you.
But what's their agenda if they want to do that? Why do that?
Because
Money.
they know it wins.
It wins. It wins.
Because if you go to court and say that you've got a VRO, then
It's
win.
over. It's over. You get a VRO, it's over. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think I told you both this before, that young man that we were talking about, he was talking about somebody in the jail, and I actually spoke to the woman involved, and according to her, the police came out and it'd been fisticuffs between both of them. The police got there and she said, no, go away. And they wouldn't. They arrested him. And they wouldn't let her drop the charges.
That's what I based it on, or what I said before. Yeah. And I've actually seen that in many cases.
So that backs up exactly what you were saying before.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that was Midland as well.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Well, they are instructed to do so.
Yeah.
So, and like, the West Australian Labor government specifically, and don't get me wrong, Labor versus Liberal on that, but the Labor government is like, okay, Labor government loves a woman's vote. Okay, they know that that's a key demographic to get into power, so they will actually manipulate things to do that. And this is like this whole conversation. I don't ever want this to be. This shouldn't be male versus female. This should be about
right and wrong.
Right and wrong.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Now I'm going to tell you right now. So my ex-wife. We're going to talk about the justice system. My ex-wife did this. So my ex-wife had me arrested on multiple occasions. And you asked me before about what advice I'd give. And one thing I told you, the other thing I'll tell you here, and that is record everything. Record everything. Don't have conversations, do it via text. Okay, every single place you go, you videotape, right? Okay, record. Because if I wasn't recording on several occasions, I wouldn't be here with you right now. I'd be in jail, okay? Because my ex-wife made up stories and had me arrested, had me thrown in jail, had me going through, and understand this, like, it's a very dehumanizing event. You put in there.
I can't even imagine.
Oh, look, okay. You know what? Okay, you're standing there. You're told to strip naked in front of another man.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
no, that's nasty.
Then they make you lift your balls. All right, right. So they can inspect under your balls. They to make you turn around and spread your cheeks so they can inspect you inside. Right now. Why did I have to go through this? And also, I got sit in a cold cell for 16 hours, right, on concrete, okay, wearing nothing but a pair of boxer shorts and a T-shirt. I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why on that particular occasion. That's because I took my daughter to school. Legally, 100% legally, I took my daughter to school. And had to go through that process. Now, when I took my daughter to school, my daughter was in my care. I had every legal right to, because I didn't want any dramas. I contacted the school. I contacted the local police station. I contacted in writing on my dad, the family court, and said, I'm going to be at this school between this time and this time, right? This video exists, right? So you can get it out there on Facebook. Anyway, I'm going to be here, I'm dropping my daughter off. You literally see my ex-wife 70 metres away walk over because she knew I was going to be there, so she'd planned it. By the way, she's got no child with her at all. She's just on her own. She walks straight over to the classroom next to my children's, right? My daughter's in this particular case, and then steps out, takes a picture, and then leaves straight away. Drives straight down to the local police station, which I might add, she was in a sexual relationship with one of the officers. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
Nice little bonus points there.
Wow.
Certainly gives you the extra treatment. Anyway, so that's all going on. So I get arrested. My entire weekend's destroyed. I have to go through that incredible process, right? And I'm treated like filth. I'm pushed around. I'm put in the back of a paddy wagon, and they literally feel like they're going forward driving with you in the back, right? Now I went through that whole just dehumanization process. Why? Because I took my daughter to school. She created fake evidence. So she, my ex-wife, created false evidence, took it to a police. Now that is against the law, right? It is making a false statement to police, and that is also perjury. That is 7 years if it's actually pursued, 7 years in jail, right? Now, only that video that I had, thankfully I recorded the entire thing on my phone, is the only reason I'm not in jail right now.
Wow.
Now, why was she not charged? Why was she not charged? When I said to them, are you going to charge her? She's made a false statement to police. And they go, no. And he goes, oh, we're going to let you go for that. I said, you're not letting me go for that, mate.
Never did anything.
I never did anything.
We're going to need to wrap up,
We
guys.
are. Oh, my gosh.
We are.
Gosh,
Yeah,
this is going to put a big spanner in the works.
I've got a lot of things that I want to say. And I think that,
And you don't need to say them. I think that's very clear what you have told us
But
today.
I want to make something very clear as I finish up. And sorry,
please do.
because I think this is important. Okay. I want to make very clear. I absolutely love women. I adore women. I tell you what, right now, my life, the biggest influences in my life have been, these amazing people. My mum was, my mum was the greatest human being I've ever known. Okay. Shaped me for who I am. And, they used her, my ex-wife used her and used her memory to try and gain control and financial and power control. And that is just pure evil. And if this is not against, this is what's got to stop. This is not men versus women. This is not me hating women. This is me asking women to be accountable. Right? And when I do things on social media and people go, oh, it's misogynist. It's not. I'm just asking for women to be held to the same level as men. Because if you believe in equality, I have a very unique situation in my life. Because most men have not been a single dad, have not been there with having to do the nappies, making the baby food and doing all the fun stuff and all that kind of carry on, right? They haven't seen that side of life. Most men haven't been on nappy changing kind of thing. I have been very privileged because I've been out there and been the breadwinner, been out there and had the businesses and the life and all that kind of carry on. But I've also been the guy who stayed at home with his babies. All right. That I am so privileged. But it gives me this perspective. And maybe why people get angry, maybe if people don't know that I know that other side, that I know the feminine side, maybe that's maybe why some people have that opinion. But ultimately, we need the lies to stop.
Yeah. Well, from one human to another, it just breaks my heart that somebody...
Was that nasty?
That somebody as lovely as you has had to go through that.
Yeah.
And in the time that, I'll speak on behalf of myself, that I've known you, you have been nothing but kind-hearted and generous and just a beautiful human being. And just the thought that I would need to go through something like that just because somebody's so evil.
Vile, yeah.
Well, in my case,
it's just so wrong.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Do you know why I went through this?
Wrong.
Do you know why I went through this?
Because you fell in love with the wrong person.
Well, I fell in love with someone. Yeah, I did fall in love with the wrong person. I loved her to bits.
Yeah.
But you know what? She had to cover up the fact that she was cheating on me. So this was the way she got pregnant to someone else. She had an abortion to try and hide it. And family court was her ability to be able to become. She comes out as the winner, right? But ultimately, you got someone who did the dirty on me. That's what she did, and to allow a family court to cover up a story like that. And when, as I say, when I went to court for this time, I think this is very important. People need to know the court decides the evidence. So what happened? I had massive evidence, video, audio, electronic stuff that shows everything, right? All the things that was done to me, I had evidence of it all. And the family court decided that it was not admissible. They decided that it was not to be considered. That is not justice. That is a crime.
Yeah, it is very much a crime.
So on that, let's wrap it up. And we're going to be back next week with Brendan Cook.
Yep.
I want to say a big thank you, Erin, for opening up, allowing the viewers and ourselves, both Lisa and I, into a little bit of what that's like, because we don't know what it's like.
And I'm glad you don't know.
I know. And we're blessed to not know what to have to go through something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But we are definitely really privileged to have you sitting here as our guest on The One Thing with your little old man hat, as you said, and not our beautiful top hat, our fedora. But, so thank you for sharing and being vulnerable and allowing the viewers to also listen a little bit on that.
Thank you to the two of you for being such wonderful parts of my life. Yeah. I love you both, and I appreciate you so much.
We love you too, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Join us next week for Brendan Cook, dispute resolution investigator and cyber security analyst, where we will cover this topic again with Department of Injustice. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Ever felt lost online finding the right businesses?
Absolutely, like a needle in a haystack.
Introducing the worldwide Awake Business Directory.
Tell me more.
It's your hub for businesses sharing your values. Discover eco-friendly products, socially responsible services, and more.
Count me in. I'll check it out straight away.
Find businesses aligned with your values on the Worldwide Awake Business Directory. Start making a difference with every purchase.